Shall we begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time. Welcome once again to another episode of Fulton Street Beats, where sometimes things get quite confusing, but quite entertaining. I hope you're all doing fine tonight, today, whenever you're watching this. In general, I hope you're doing good, guys. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And if you are a current subscriber, thanks for stopping back. It's good to see you. We have some information to go over tonight, and you're going to be glad you watched this episode. Bear with my introduction, please, because you are going to want to hear this and see what's coming up here. Now, as you know, we have been building the Jem style kits. Leo Jaymz, BYO Guitar Kit World. In the hope of declaring a winner, a which one is best for the money, a which one's good and which one's bad, which one is right for you. This is kind of a complicated journey, and I really wasn't expecting this. I found so much about these guitars, so bear with me. We're going to get to them, and we're going to do a really good overview and a close-up of these guitars, and I'm going to tell you a lot about these guitars as we do that. I'm a Steve Vai fan. I love the looks of the Jem. I had one when I was in high school, and even though I'm a horrible guitar player, I like to mess around, and we like what we like, right? As men and women, we like what we like, and well, I like to build guitars now. I like guitars in general, but I can't afford high-end guitars. So being a drum builder, a professional drum builder, I decided to try my hand at building guitars, because how hard could it be? Well, there's a learning curve. I'll give you that. There is a learning curve, but I guarantee if I can do it, you guys can do it. Because I went into this, I know craftsmanship and the quality of wood and things like that, but as far as the electronic aspects, I had to dive in with both feet and just go. I got a little bit of aptitude, somewhat of patience sometimes when I need it, so I really started to enjoy it, and I know a lot of you enjoy it too. And there's a lot more people who are way more advanced than me. Props to them. And this journey, I hope to keep learning as I go. So let's move on to these Jem kits. And these Jem kits have really opened my eyes to a lot of different things, because I took 3 kits that are, well, kind of readily available on the market that people know of. And there's other kits out there, but they seem to be knockoffs of, well, these 3 kits. And some are super expensive, that they don't give you any options. These 3 I chose because they seemed like viable options. So we're going to start tonight's overview. We're going to run down through, and we're going to go over the Leo Jaymz, the first of the builds. We're going to carry that over to the BYO. And then we are going to go to the Guitar Kit World. And hopefully we can come back here and I can give you my final thoughts and opinions without any farther ado. Here's that look at these 3 cats going to come out of the bag. Pretty amazing kids. Stay right there. Here it comes. Being the cheapest of the 3 Jems, the Leo Jaymz seems like it had to overcome the most obstacles. And not because it was a bad guitar, but simply because it didn't have the features that the other 2 had. So a little extra time and care went into this build, and quite a few extra upgrades. almost $1,000 in upgrades, as a matter of fact, including the price of the guitar. So let's start up here at the headstock. It did not have a properly shaped headstock, and this one's close. I just did this with a sander, but it's decent. We did do the Steve Vai truss rod cover, and the cover that comes with it is, well, just very substandard. It's not even a Jem style truss rod cover. The locking nut, however, was very decent, and it did come with a black one, but I had this gold one laying around, so we used this, and I used the black lockdown holders. All three of these kits have Ibanez logos, and they're from 5 Alarm something, I forget their name. We did install Geiger locking tuners. We'll get to the back and show those. And we'll move down the neck, and we'll right away notice that it has pretty decent frets. As a matter of fact, they're really decent. And the inlays are actually quite nice. However, these inlays are just a pearloid white. When we get into the body shape from the front is exquisite. It's outstanding. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. Now, the pick guard that came with this kit was a pearl white pick guard, and we replaced that with an actual Ibanez maple pick guard with rosewood knobs. The tuning bridge that came with it, although it is a patented by Floyd Rose, it's not a Floyd Rose. It was a little subpar, and I upgraded that to a Tone Ninja. And your pickups, where it really shines is the pickups with this kit that come with it. We never tested those, so, but I'm pretty sure they weren't going to be too great, judging by the looks of them. And maybe someday we'll get around to testing those. But I did order these beautiful Steve Vai Dark Matter pickups. All three, as a matter of fact, are Dark Matter pickups. DiMarzio's Dark Matter 2s. And they produce a sound that is extremely articulate and beautiful, and downright heavy and crunchy when you need it to be. Now, we did upgrade the pots. They are 500K pots, but they're Ibanez pots. At least came from an Ibanez seller. And we also upgraded the 5-way switch. And that's the front, and it's a quite beautiful guitar. The neck was straight, the neck is true. Action is really nice. And this guitar plays outstanding. Outstanding playing guitar. Let's turn it over. Let's get a look at the back. Now, we're going to start seeing some major differences here, and you have to decide whether the price is worth the upgrades for the other two guitars. As you can see on the back of this one, we do not have the little line cut that goes in. Now, I easily could have sanded that in, but I did not, because that's the way the kit came. But the kit does have a beautiful mahogany body. Beautiful mahogany body. Just a generic cavity cover that is not recessed. And a bolt-on neck. The bolts are in the proper spaces. And this neck right here, while it may appear to be two pieces going up through there, it is not. That's just a grain in the wood. This is a two-piece neck with a scarf joint right there. And it is a maple neck, and it is very straight and plays very well. And those are our Geiger tuners. You can see those are Geigers. So we're missing some key features, such as the cut and the monkey grip. Although the monkey grip is cut properly in the front, it's just missing some designs that should be there in the back. Now, also, you'll notice that, unfortunately, the input jack, or the output jack, I should say, is located on the bottom of the guitar and is not recessed in like an Ibanez Jem would be. All in all, this kit for $149 through Leo Jaymz. This one was purchased off of Amazon at the time. For $149, you're going to have a very straight, with a good action, playable Jem style kit. It is not an Ibanez Jem, and it doesn't pretend to be one other than the monkey grip, because honestly, it doesn't have they didn't try to imitate a headstock. They didn't do all of the features that the Jem has, and it's $149, but you will have a fantastic playing guitar, and if it's well worth it if you want to put money into it. And a really good property about this guitar, an aspect of this guitar, is that the body is actually cut out properly, routed out properly for individual HSH. So it's not one big open cavity under that pick guard cover. It is actually routed out properly, and this body is mahogany. So those are the qualities of this. How does it play? Fantastic. And now we will move on to the second of my builds. This build is by BYO Guitars, Build Your Own Guitar. This kit is the Jem series kit, and this is their entry-level one, and it's on sale right now for $219. And video or pictures doesn't do this guitar justice. It really doesn't. The color is actually quite rich and deep, and I just can't capture it with the camera. Now, this kit came with an exceptional tremolo. It appears to be nickel plated, and I hope you can get a look at that. The quality is a lot better than most, and that's kind of a good thing. Of course, it's a good thing. The pick guard is a pearl white. Unfortunately, this one did not come with a film over it, so they had a couple scratches on it, but that buffed out very easily, and it turned out to be a nice project. The guitar in general was very fun to do. The cut is correct on the monkey grip. The body dimensions are correct, and they advertise these as a rosewood fretboard, but if you take a look, this is definitely an ebony fretboard. And you'll notice that the vine of life on this one is a combination of gold, white, and abalone. So we have a white pearl, a gold pearl, and like an abalone inlay. The inlays on this are extremely high quality and look very, very well. Pickups in this were wired properly. Everything did work. Minimal effort to hook everything up, and no issues there whatsoever. Switches work well. They do fade out and not cut out. So decent pots. They do work well. They're not a high-end pot, but they do work well. And we'll get up to the locking nut. And this one has the proper Ibanez rake to it. So your headstock does rake back at the proper angle. It does have your string bar. One thing note about this string bar, I believe that they're a touch too long. I will be cutting these down a little bit, this one down. It did come with the pearl Ibanez style truss rod cover. The locking nut is a through locking nut, which means it comes through from the back. And once again, we are branded Ibanez on this. And this is kind of like a pearly silver. And you can see their headstock is dead on perfect. And the logo does not come with logos. I did that. But the logo lines up right where it should. And now we're going to turn it around and let's talk about the back. So, we're going to start at the top. Generic tuners. And they hold tune very well. But why wouldn't they? They have a locking nut. So, but they look good. The plating is great, and there's zero issues, and they're straight, and they look good, so not a problem. But if you look, we have a skunk stripe. Yes, this is a 5-piece neck. And what I believe to be walnut in between. And it's a beautiful maple neck. You did a very good job on these necks. All three guitars have nice playing necks, but the skunk stripe with the 5-piece just goes above and beyond. Then we're going to come to the back, and of course we have the proper spacing for our neck bolts, just like an Ibanez. And if you notice, we have the proper cut on the back of the monkey grip, which was nice to see. Now I did have to trim out for the output jack cover, just a little bit off, not a big deal. Trimmed that out, and there is our back cavity cover plate. There's a napkin in there, Steve Vai style, just to cut down on vibrations. And it is a shame also on this guitar that the plate is not recessed into the body and routed in like it is with that. But this is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful guitar, and if you notice, I did the back in a different color. Ever so lightly different color. Let's turn it around, and you'll see the change. And you'll see more of a red on the front, and I hope you can see that difference. Just a slight variation. How does it play? Fantastic. I'm not going to tell you how these sound yet, but they play. This one plays fantastic, and the Leo Jaymz also plays fantastic. And one more thing, this does have the jack in the proper place on the base of the guitar at an angle, just like the actual Ibanez Jem. And overall, an amazing kit for new $219. This kit is $219, and in my opinion, worth every penny, as the Leo Jaymz is $149, and in my opinion, worth every penny. Now let's get to the most expensive guitar, stock. It comes stock, and that is the Guitar Kit World. When we've been waiting for the Guitar Kit World Jem style guitar. And our next guitar is the Guitar Kit World Jem style do-it-yourself build. And I had really high hopes for this guitar kit because it was the most expensive of all three. These start at $189. So what exactly are you getting for the $189? Well, let's go over that. So we're going to start at the top of this guitar, and we're going to go down from the front. We have a properly formed headstock, Ibanez headstock. Now there's some things on this guitar. One upgrade I've done to this guitar, and that is the Ibanez truss rod cover, because it is a quick release cover that slides open to adjust the truss rod if you ever need to. Now if you take a look at that nut, it has really exceptional plating and is very high quality. I did not expect that. But now we're going to go down, and this one actually has a rosewood fretboard with exquisite inlays. Now this is something you really have to see in real life to understand. The BYO kit was also amazing. This is probably a step above, but not much, but a step above. And if you look at your fretwork on this, your frets are really nice. And once again, we have the abalone, the white pearl, and the gold. But it has a different tone to it, definitely. And then when we get down to the body, you'll notice that we have a beautiful, shiny, beautiful pearl pick guard. Now this pick guard is above both other guitars' pick guards in both shine, quality of cut, and it may actually be a Jem pick guard. It may be an Ibanez pick guard. I mean, this thing is precise, and it does have the back cut. So a very, very well cut pick guard. It does have witch hat knobs, and look at this. This is the best of the three as far as the trims go. And this one is actually labeled Ibanez. Is it an Ibanez trim? I don't know. It's probably a knockoff, but it's done very well in the plating, the gold plating, especially for gold plating. Very well. DiMarzio pickups. Well, I think all of our common sense is telling us that these pickups are not authentic DiMarzio pickups, but they sure do look good. It is a nice touch, especially when you're trying to replicate an Ibanez Jem. We do have gold buttons on this one for our strap buttons. And we're going to turn this guitar over. And I think I still have some compound on this guitar, I do. So, we have a recessed output jack cover with gold screws. The finish turned out outstanding on this. I got some compound still on it. I've been buffing it. And there's about 10 coats of lacquer on this. And once again, look at this beautiful pearl. You see the difference in the pearl in this cover? They're gold screws, and again, the body screws are in the proper locations. The cut is correct, and yes, we have the proper back cut on the monkey grip, even though I can't see it in this lighting due to the shine. And yes, we have a 5-piece skunk stripe maple neck, and what I believe is walnut, with a pass-through, once again, a pass-through locking nut system. It holds the locking nut in place. But when we get up top here, we'll notice the gold tuners that are also labeled Ibanez. And you see the residue that's in there. That's from the covers that were on them. I still got to get in there, and they'll brush right out. A little toothbrush, brush right out. They did go on nice and straight. And we do have the proper back cut location for the output jack. So, what are we getting for the extra money? For the extra, what is it, $60, $70 with this kit? Well, we're getting Ibanez branding on some of the components, as well as name brand DiMarzio pickups. Not authentic, but we're getting the look for sure. We're getting a very authentic body. All three have nice bodies. This is an exceptional body, although this one is basswood. Now, we have a rosewood fingerboard that is probably on the top of the list when it comes to all three guitars. We have an exceptional headstock. We have the Ibanez labeled tuners. Are they Ibanez? Gosh, Mom, I don't know. But they work well. So what it's going to come down to is how they sound, because this one playability is excellent. Now, how is it compared to the other two? Also, but let's just say all three guitars play exceptionally well. As a matter of fact, I find myself grabbing different ones at different times just to compare them. The action on this one, though, is impeccable. Impeccable. And I might have gave it away right there. Now, out of all three, believe it or not, the BYO has the thickest of necks. This one and the Leo Jaymz kit seem to be, well, about the same. So these necks are a bit faster. The Leo Jaymz and this neck they're a bit faster. So how was that? What did you think about that little overview of those guitars? And I know you're all chomping at the bit to hear what those things sound like. Am I right? That'd be awesome. That's right. So, we're going to have to get to playing these things in the next episode, I'd say. But I have one more video that's going to come out, and I was going to put it out first, but I knew some of you were waiting to get this overview. And the next video is going to be the build of the the build of the Guitar Kit World kit and some of the things that I encountered and how, generally that build went. I wish I would have captured the Leo build because the Leo build kit went very smoothly. And out of all three of these kits, for the $149 price tag, I mean, so worth it. Even if you're going to use their cheap pickups that come with it, so worth it because, I mean, it's a playable. And what I mean by playable is the feeling, the action, everything's right out of the box. Now, yes, I put a lot of money in that guitar. Maybe it's psychosomatic, but I'm telling you what, that neck and that fretboard and that action is top notch. Now, a lot of that's going to be due to the builder. How you setting it up? Do you know what you're doing? Of course, but it just tells me that we don't have inferior parts, though. We don't have an inferior neck or body. Everything's meeting correctly. So that was done right at the factory. So that means a lot. The routing was correct because everything's straight and true. So, and on all three of these guitars, that remains a consistency across the board. They're all manufactured really well. I was going to say decent, but I'm going to say just damn good. They're all well. So sound is going to be subjective. Playability is not. Playability is playability. How does it feel in the hands? How fast can you move your fingers up and down the fretboard? And as a novice, as I like to consider myself, guitar player, the better I can play is a pretty good indication of how the guitar is. If it makes me play better, it's, no brainer, it's got to be better, right? So this is not meant to hurt any manufacturer's feelings in any way because I'm sure they have other kits that are amazing. But all three of these kits hit the mark at their price point. I can't declare a winner except for declare them each one a winner in their price point. And I know, that sounds like, oh, that's got to be, you had to have that plan. No, they're each a winner in their price point. So obviously, if you're going to pick a winner, if I have to pick a winner, because we're going to have to go by price point then, right? Guitar Kit World wins. Followed by BYO. Followed by BYO Jaymz. Price point, fit, how they play. And I got to tell you that the BYO Jaymz is so close that I have to keep going back to it and making sure, because it's really, it's right there with BYO as far as playability goes. It's right there. I can't tell you that enough. It's right there. Just, so close as far as playability goes. So if you need a kit and you want to set one up and it's good to play, I'm not talking sound, I'm talking playability, action. It's a damn good kit. Now you go BYO, you have to step up. You get a lot more features. You're getting that nickel plated. It looks like nickel plated, guys. Maybe they're not. And that's one thing I want to make clear too. What I got with my kits, I don't know if they all come that way. I'm sure this stuff comes from China. So who knows what you're getting? They may change things up. I've heard some stories of different colored necks. I've heard, stories. So buyer beware on that aspect. I only can attest to what I got. So BYO Jaymz, how does it sound stock? I don't know. I wish I did. The pickups are sitting over there. Do I take the time and put them in? No. I think I'm going to leave those dark matters in there. I was going to actually swap those dark matters. We're going to talk about sound, but that's going to be up to you in the end. You're going to have to hear it in the next couple episodes here. But as far as sound goes, of course, with dark matter 2 pickups and new pots and switch in a extremely playable guitar, the BYO Jaymz is going to beat the other two. It does beat the other two. But that's because I put $1,000 into making that guitar sound good. But what helps it is that mahogany body that has the proper cutouts. Because remember, the other two guitars are routed out in a open fashion where it's not individual pickup routing. It's one open cavity. So basically, you're getting more resonance from the wood, which can be good or can be bad depending on what pickups you're running. But let's face it, in both of the other guitars, the BYO and the Guitar Kit World, they're not high-end pickups. So let's move on and talk about that for a second. We'll get back to some build quality. The pickups. I'm going to take it the Leo Jaymz. I can't attest to it, but I'm going to probably say that it would sound decent with the factory pickups that it come with, because the other two do. The BYO kit, it's a bit, and I'm not going to use the word harsh. It's a bit, it's a bit high. It's got a higher frequency. It's not as articulate as far as sound goes. It's not. They sound good. Don't get me wrong. They will serve your purpose, and some people like that sound that they give, and you're going to have to hear it to understand it, because, like I said, it sounds subjective. When I tell you those DiMarzio branded pickups that are in the Guitar Kit World kit are freaking amazing. They sound good. I will not change those out. There's no need. They sound good. As a matter of fact, they're getting up. Maybe they're junk. Maybe they won't last. But as sound-wise, to my ear, they're up there with getting up there like next to the Dark Matters, and they're getting in that area. So for that price point, I'm going to keep it there. If they go up, then, yeah, of course, we'll upgrade. And I plan on upgrading them, but not going to do it right now because they sound that good. And I'm not saying BYO sounds bad. Does it sound bad? But when you're comparing it to two other guitars that are exceptional, you know. But like I said, price point. Guitar Kit World's $289 to get into them. So you're getting more features. You're getting, and a lot of people like the labeled stuff. If you don't want labeled stuff, if you don't want labeled tuners, I mean, they got a custom shop. You can go in and get whatever you want. Both BYO and Guitar Kit World have a custom shop. They come with Ibanez labeled tuners. It's bling. I like bling. Suits me, might not suit you. BYO might be better for you, especially if you're changing out pickups. However, I like the bling. I like the Ibanez look. We're going for an Ibanez Jem look. And it does it. And it does it better of all three. Because we have, I mean, let's face it, we got a correct body. We got a correct neck. We got a correct cut headstock. We got Ibanez labeled tuners. We have Ibanez on the Floyd Rose. And we have, out of all three, the best action. That's right. The best. That guitar was the easiest to set up. But, and there's a but. And I say Guitar Kit World wins, but this next statement may turn you off and you may decide on the other two. The wiring was wrong. Damn, those pickups sound good, but not at first. Because when I got done, and I got an episode coming out where I'm building this guitar, and I kind of scratched my head. I went to plug this guitar in to test it after I wired it, after I just soldered the output jack and the ground to the claw for the tremolo. I plugged it in. I had two hot pickups. On three full pickups on full bore. They weren't selecting on three of the positions of the 5-way switch. The other two were dead. They didn't work, and we did not have a neck pickup. A bridge pickup that worked at all. So I was thinking, whoa, what's going on? Do we have a bad pickup? It can't be, because the other two are just on full black. No tonal change, no nothing. No, I mean, it was just So I got in, I dove in, I took a peek, and I found out that it was wired wrong. Simple wiring mistake, not a huge deal. I looked up the schematics, so I kind of knew what I was looking for, but I knew before I looked at the schematics something wasn't right. And there was a jumper wire missing that goes on the switch and things like that. But easy, quick fix. But remember, to tell you, the guitar was set up already. I had it set up, I had it tuned, I had the action right, and then I had to die because then I turned around. I was like, oh, I'm just wired, it'll work. I wired it, and I learned something again. Don't set up your guitar before you know the wiring is right, because I had to tear it down, take the trem off, and I mean, I got a quick way of doing it, but still, take the trem off, look in there, see what's going on. Hopefully you fix it. Yes, I did. Took it over to the amp. Got everything working right. So, and then I found out after a few strums that holy shit, it's an amazing sounding guitar. And keep this in mind. It might sound that good because that body is basswood. Yes, basswood, not mahogany. The other two bodies are mahogany. This one is basswood. And I go into a little spiel about basswood here, I think, in my building video. But because something's basswood, don't think it's bad or it's going to sound bad, because quite contrary, it's probably going to sound good because it's a very acoustic, high resonating tone wood. Whereas your mahoganies are warmer, they don't resonate as much. So depending on what pickups you got in it, it may sound better. And that just may be why, being basswood and having the hollow cavity for the pickups, it just may be why it sounds so good. But the playability is, and just so you guys know, if you get these, you have, I mean, it's almost sacrilegious if you don't. Run 942 slinkies on them. 942 slinkies, you'll thank me. You'll thank me. So let's go on to more of the build quality. So we have of course, the jacks that are in the right positions on the BYO and the guitar kit world. I know the tuners all function. How good are they? I really don't have a chance to tell how good they are because I'm not relying on any of those tuners. The Leo Jaymz, I put Geiger professional tuners on there, friggin' locking tuners with a locking nut. They're outstanding. No purpose for them, but they look good. They're black. And the other two, well, they hold what they need to hold, and then the locking nut holds the rest. So there's no need to upgrade right now. So like I said, you're getting quite a bit for the money. It all works together. The bodies, when they come, they require a little prep. The basswood body required a little more prep than the other two, and that's simply because it was basswood, and they have a tendency of getting dinged up a little bit more than mahogany because they're softer wood. But nothing major. None of these guitars required any wood fill whatsoever. The mahogany guitars were done with raising the grain. The basswood, I did not raise the grain simply because it's basswood, and basswood doesn't like water. I don't like to introduce water onto basswood. Bad things happen. I've seen bad things happen. We don't do it. Some people, hey, you're a woodworker. You do it your way. I build drums. I do things my way. Maybe it's because I see instruments get wet frequently. So I'm not taking that chance. And honestly, there was no reason to do it because I was using an oil-based urethane first, followed by lacquer. You're never going to see any grain under there. The grain of the wood itself is higher than the grain I would lift. You know what I mean? I mean, it's splitting hairs. So they all built very nice. The easiest of them to build initially, easy, and is BYO. And that's because everything worked and functioned. The next one would be Leo Jaymz, and that's because I never used those pickups, but I had to rewire them and put new ones in, which was not a big deal because I was expecting to do it. So I'm going to say that one. The third one would be the Guitar Kit world because, well, we had a glitch in a system that was wired wrong, and I had to figure that out. So that's the only thing that made it a pain. Um, is there any workmanship problems with these guitars? No. I think there might be some quality control issues with a couple. Leo Jaymz quality control issue on their tremolo. And not so much the trem, but the studs for the trem. Not the bosses for the studs, but the studs themselves. The Allen key wouldn't fit in, and that's why I swapped it out. The Allen key just wasn't right. They didn't have it cut right for the Allen key, so basically you couldn't raise or lower your trem. So I put a Tone Ninja in it. It was right around $50. Put it in, perfect now. The other two outstanding hardware as far as your trem goes. Both the BYO and the Guitar Kit world, outstanding trems on those. They work fantastic. People yell upgrade, grade. You need sustain. Okay, but for the price point, and I'll tell you what, the Guitar Kit world has some sustain, but it's the heaviest of the trems too. It is the heaviest, so keep that in mind. It's almost, it's over a full pound. It's the heaviest. I think it was over a pound. It was the heaviest of them all, though. So it may very well be a real Ibanez trem, and it does have the correct markings on the block, even. So maybe they were leftovers, and maybe they had a way of getting them. I don't know. Works good. Tuners, probably generic, man, but they got it. They looked the part. And a lot of people say they didn't have tuners that say Ibanez. They did. They did. I've had Ibanez's with Ibanez tuners. Usually they're older ones, though. Hard to find these ones right now. So once again, I mean, this stuff comes out of China, Korea, wherever, all over the place, right? So when we say something's a copy or something, I mean, how do we know? What they do with their old toolings and stuff like that? So that's what it boils down to. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know. But we're going to crown the king, and you guys can decide on sound however you want, because it's subjective. In the next, not the next episode, but the next one, we're going to do our sound comparison. I wish I could bring this to you all at once, but it's too much time. I've been working on these kits, it seems like now, forever, and trying to bring you all the content and detail on it. I can't. So in the videos, if I run across an issue, I tell you. So watch the videos. I tell you if there's an issue right then. Oh, I will tell you one issue I had with Guitar Kit broke a screw that goes to the to one of the machine heads. Now, if you guys, I know the gold screws. Gold screws tend to be weaker across the board. Every time I see a gold screw, I'm like, that's going to be weaker. And it's true. And that neck on the Guitar Kit world, the maple on that neck is harder than both of the other maples, hands down. That neck is one authentic looking, feeling, playing neck. I mean, I swear it's an Ibanez neck, and they just not stamped Ibanez. I swear. I mean, that thing is, it's good, guys. It's good. The action's perfect. I mean, it's perfect. Minimal fretwork on that thing. When I say minimal fretwork, I took a laser to this and I didn't show it. I do have a video on it. I might do a video on it. I might release that video to see how level my frets were and the neck. And baby, is it on. Best one I've ever seen on any guitar ever. So, what's going on there? Fret ends, beautiful. I just gave them a light sanding because I was doing the polishing. They're beautiful on all three guitars. Amazing. No sharp frets on all three. Not one. Not one. I think I might have had a little high spot on one. I can't remember what one it was, but when I did my polishing and a little bit of light sand, it went away. So I have no fret buzz. I did have fret buzz on the other two. I had to fix that. The Guitar Kit world, zero, zilch, nada, nothing, low action, no fret buzz, clean notes, even up into the scallop frets. And that's another thing. The Leo James does not have scallop frets on the first four. The other two do. And it makes a difference. They're easier to play. So that is going to wrap it up. So you want a winner. If I have to pick a winner, and I don't want manufacturers getting mad, and it's nothing personal. This is my opinion, basically. And I'm saying, in my eyes, in my opinion, the winner is Guitar Kit World. Runner-ups, BYO. And the last, of course, because it's a $149 kit, is the Leo James kit. Which guitar is going to sound the best? Which guitar does sound the best? Well, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be the Leo James, the cheapest of the kits, because it's got dark matter, 2 pickups, and all new wiring and pots and switches. So, in a mahogany body, it's got everything that it's like a sleeper. It's a sleeper. The guitar player picks up that guitar and plays, he's going to whoa. But the other, you're getting what you pay for with all of them. Out of the box, you're getting what you pay for. So if you like the bling, and you think it's going to be set up like mine, because my Guitar Kit World one was badass, minus the wrong wiring, that's the one. If you like bling, that's the one. If you like fit and finish, that's the one. If you, BYO, I mean, it's right there. They're neck and neck. I'm not gonna lie, they're neck and neck. I look at them and I go, ooh. But what gets me with the BYO, and it's not bad. It's just it's got a little bit thicker of a neck. My hands feel it's a little bit thicker. I like a thin neck. Sometimes I shave the necks on my guitar. I don't feel the need to do that on either the Leo or the Guitar Kit World. The other one just seems a little fatter, but it has a beautiful ebony fretboard though. I mean, it's like, I want to take that fretboard, put it on this guitar. I don't even know. I'd like to roll all 3 of these guitars into one. And then you know what we would have? We'd have a $6,000 Ibanez. That's what we would have. If we rolled them all into one, because they all got good qualities. And that's the way it is. So let me know your guys' opinions. I mean, I hear things. I got a bad one. I don't like this one. This one's built this way. Mine sucked. This one's great. This one's great. I swear to this one. Keep in mind, just because you got a bad one doesn't mean everybody did. And just because you got a good one doesn't mean that everybody did. I got 3 exceptional ones. I'm going to consider myself a lucky man, because this is coming off of not too long ago. If you watch my episode, I got a Epiphone Flying V Corona that was a pile of dog, and very unhappy with it. And that's what made me start building guitars. I said, I can build a guitar better than Epiphone. And you know what? I got 3 of them to prove it. And they're finished awesome too. And keep in mind, none of them have been rubbed out yet. I was waiting for the lacquer to I'd give it a week usually, but I gave it more time. But these guys are going to be wet sanded and buffed to a high sheen. So they're works of art. They really are. And they're all unique in their own individual way. And I want to thank Guitar Kit World. I want to thank BYO. And even Leo James. I haven't been in any contact with Leo James. I don't know the first thing about him, but they got a $149 kit that plays good. BYO, been in contact with them. Seem like fantastic people. They got a great product. 219 people. Think about that. 219, and you're getting a really realistic looking gem that plays really good. That's in all 3 of these guitars worth upgrading. Then we have the Guitar Kit World. Awesome people too. Always in touch, shooting me emails. Both of them shoot me emails. How's it going? What do you think? You know, that is the way to do business. And that is a way to keep your customer base and keep us coming back for more, so we're building guitars. Because honestly, it's an honor to build, especially the BYO and the Guitar Kit World. It's an honor to build those guitars when you see the quality that they're giving you. Now, is there areas they could be improved upon? Well, yeah, there's a few areas. I mean, but I don't know who they get them from, who their vendor is, if they are in charge of doing their own bodies or what. I know nothing about that. Maybe we can dive into that and find out. But if I was going to give any suggestions, if they're listening, number one is packaging. BYO kit, the loose packaging is the same as the Jaymz kit that comes, and it's just an uneasy feeling when you, and I'm not saying it like mine arrived perfect, but when you see one arrive in packaging that's kind of loose and willy-nilly and things are bouncing around, I just worry that customers might shy away from purchasing again because of the what if factor. That makes sense. The what if factor. What if something happens? And then you got, Guitar Kit World, who package their guitar kits are packaged in tight styrofoam form fitted. Now what's going to happen to that? Take an act of Congress, and then it still definitely wouldn't happen then because they don't do shit, right? So, packaging, and it's a wow factor too. When you open a pack, it's a sigh of relief. Look at they packaged it good. That's number one. Number two, and I only can attest to the Jem kits because I haven't built any of your kits. I would love to build some more of your kits. By the way, if you guys are listening, I would love to, because of the quality of these ones. But number two, with the Jem, whoever's doing your bodies, and I'm not going to say this to Leo James because they're low end, and I get that they got to skim. Everything's right on these bodies. Well, except for a couple things, but the big thing is aesthetically is have that plate routed out in the back for your cavity cover. Let that sit in there. That needs to sit in. That's the only thing aesthetically that's holding the kits back. And really, other than that, you got it. The hollow cavities and whatever. It's easier for them to route it that way. I get it. To cost effective. I know you're going to pay a lot more to get it's weird because I don't know how Leo James did it. Well, I do, because Leo James neglected to put the tiger claw in and drill out the proper cut for the output jack. So that's where they skimped, and then they put a scarf joint neck on. You guys went all out. You went all out except for the cavity cover. Do the cavity cover. It's a big thing because I know they're out there. Seen them. But other than that, man, you guys hit it out of the ballpark with these Jems. Like, I can't go to a guitar store and buy a guitar that plays like these. Now, a lot of that's me. I set them up. I know. And I'm not tooting my own horn, but if it's going to play like shit, it's because I made it play like shit. Because I'm dealing with two outstanding kids. But you hit it out of the ballpark. And I would pick either one of these guitars over as far as playing goes. Now, if I'm looking for, that holier than thou attitude, I'd pick a name brand. You know what I mean? Look what I got. You don't got. You're $6,000. I don't do that stuff. I'm not like a brand loyal person whatsoever. If it does the job and does it well, that's what I stick with. And in Guitar Kit World, BYO, you guys did that. And I hope that the quality that you guys sent me is the quality that your customers get. And I love that you knew I was going to do a review, and I got a guitar with wiring that was wrong. And that says a lot. It says nothing. It wasn't handpicked. It wasn't handpicked. Here, make sure this is right. This is going to be the best. Wasn't. I got the kit that everybody else would get. And that leaves a good feeling too. So, I don't know. I really my next build. I'd love to build a Flying V or an Explorer or something like that next. Maybe we'll do that next. I don't think BYO has V's. I think Guitar Kit World does though. Now, if you guys are watching, hit me up. Let me know if you got any. I'd like a 58, 57 V or even an Explorer, something that style. Let's outbuild Gibson. That would be cool, right? Let's actually take the time to do it. I'll put the money out, put the right pickups in it and everything. I'll make them amazing. let's outbuild a Gibson and then test it against a Gibson. Maybe bring it to a local guitar store and blind test them, see what they think. All right, guys, thanks for watching Fulton Street Beats. I will be talking to you soon. Stick around for the next episodes. Don't forget, hit that like button, share, and subscribe so you don't miss them, because we're going to bring you some sounds. And the next video is going to be the build of the Guitar Kit World kit, which was very zen. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.